Good morning and welcome to the latest in the series of debates that we're having with the Institute of Directors on Teesside, the Evening Gazette and Teesside University. Today our debate has been about the future of renewable energy and the importance for the Tees Valley of the developments currently taking place in that field. In some ways a slightly troubled time for the region with issues like chorus and plant closures in Wilton and other factors which are on the negative side. On the positive side, we're at the threshold of new exciting industries for the 21st century involved in things like carbon capture and storage, production of bioethanol from wheat, and there are so many opportunities for the sector and for the region using skills that are already in evidence in the Tees Valley. That we think there's a huge amount of opportunity for the future, and we really see the Tees Valley as having the potential to be a world-leading centre in the field of renewable energy. So that's what today's debate's all about, and here are the views of the people that were attending this morning.
I think the future for me has got to be recognition at the highest levels, and I've said this in one or two forums and in the press. There's got to be a balanced energy mix, and there should not be extra focus or extra money, financial resources given to a particular energy source that then prevents us from, if you take it, all the money's going now into offshore wind. Well, if that is disproportionate, that will have an effect on, for example, nuclear development. So you've got to get that balance right. You've got to get that energy mix right. And I think that's got to be put across to government. They're on this political drive for offshore wind. Don't overdo it. I think the challenges, Alistair, are undoubtedly getting the message through to the public on different levels, again on the skills side, okay, and the need for this continuing demand and to meet the demand for energy. But I do think Tees Valley and the wider region could be, with some key decisions, some a little bit of forward thinking and some, use the phrase, joined up thinking. I think it is in an important place that it could actually be, again, this is a bit cliche, but it could actually be, the engine, and the different forms of energy for the country, and then to export that around the globe. I honestly do. I think there's tremendous potential. And there's examples, I could give in companies all the time. Terrific examples.
Yeah. So great.
You've just got to get it out, and those examples themselves will actually help kids.
Absolutely. So great potential.
I think so. I think the potential is tremendous for the future.
Thank you. Trevor.
Yes, I think I'd support very much what George was saying there, the need for a balanced energy mix. I think we're part of that mix. I think we will see a need. We will see wind. We will see nuclear. But fossil fuel does have a big part to play. We very much believe in our project and enables fossil fuel to have its part, to play its part in a balanced portfolio of energy sources. Just to pick up a point on regional support, Bob mentioned it earlier, I perhaps can't understate the benefit of that to our project, particularly because this initiative that was launched yesterday is very, very good news for us, because also it helps us very much in a wider government context to getting support for our project. The government announced support for 4 coal-based projects in the UK, and we very much want this project to be part of that, both in terms of the energy generation that it provides, but also as the point I wanted to make as an enabler of the CO2 network, which I think will help both existing industries that are in the Tees Valley, but also to help it reinvent itself, to bring in new industries as part of a low carbon economy for the region.
Thank you, Trevor. John?
If you go back 20 years, Wilton or Tees Valley had a world reputation. It was the largest chemical complex in Europe, I think, at its height. And I think it has the potential to regain that status as the largest single processing centre, low carbon, and whatever you want to call it, whether it's energy generation, whether it's getting value out of waste, whether it's wheat, biofuel, I don't know. I think it has the potential to go back to that status in not too long a time frame. I'll leave you with one thought, though, which is, the agenda right now is carbon. It's carbon emissions. We sometimes forget that by 2050 there'll be 50% more people in this world than there are now. The real agenda is not carbon. The real agenda is resources. I'm afraid we're too good at using things and throwing them away and buying something else. Society has to change. We cannot go on using resources the way we are using resources, whether that's coal, whether it's oil, whether it's platinum, whether it's uranium. There isn't enough. There are certain resources that are about to run out in the next 3 to 10 years, which are actually critical in terms of manufacturing some of the electronic components we have. I think India has somewhere between 3 and 10 years reserve left in the world. We have to change the way we think. We're hell-bent on making electric cars with lithium-ion batteries. Don't forget, there isn't much lithium in the world. So we have to change our culture, I think. Carbon's a good metric at the moment. It's a good metric to get behind. It's a good standard. That will have to change to resources and resource management and treating this planet with some respect.
Okay. Sue, would you like to? Are you busy scribbling?
No, I very much endorse what John has said, and going on from that, something we haven't really talked about here, and it's something that Paul Savick is passionate about, and that's if we're going to recreate the Wilton complex as being a world centre, then I think crucial for that is seeing it as a leader in completely reversing the carbon chain, completely reversing the carbon chain. And I'm not a chemist, but I understand the rudiments of it, and I think that really is the key, isn't it? That we've created a very highly processed world. Now we're going to have to reverse that creation, and in the reverse of that, we're actually exploring complete new boundaries, really exciting new boundaries, but crucially sustainable ones.
Mark?
I'm actually going to leave you genuinely inspired about what the opportunities are. I think the critical key, as I said before, is actually communicating that to people so they understand it, and pitching that wider energy sector is actually a massive opportunity for Tees Valley, and I just genuinely hope that we grab hold of it with both hands and we build our new Tees Valley on it. I suppose it's just where we go from here in regard to kids all the way up to the people that are coming out of things like chorus, that we need to reskill them and give them a future as well. So hopefully we can build on the platform already. But say as a lay person looking at the industry from the outside, we just want to understand it more so we can come and tell people about it and sort of go around the wider region saying your lights are on at night because of us, if you like. So yeah, generally inspiring really, I think, in the midst of all the doom and gloom of other things going on.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's a sector that needs leadership, and to have the confidence, and it's great to have people in influential positions that believe the next 5 years and 10 years will be moving forward very significantly. We've got to believe in ourselves, believe in that. I think a key element building there on that Mark thing is from that wider perspective. I don't think I've seen a document which brings the whole energy sector together, where I can see on one area there are fossil fuels, there's nuclear, there's gas. Because I think you hear about one element, and it's also what does carbon capture mean across that wider aspect, to sort of redraw where we might be in 5 and 10 years, and what do we need to do in the next 6 months and 12 months then to bring all of that forward so that people can see it's not. So I think that's part of it. So I'm okay with nuclear, I don't want wind. It's for people to actually understand that broader aspect of the whole thing. And I'm not sure how solidified we are, whether how coherent we actually are as a sector, or whether it's people working on their own individual projects, and where does that overall leadership come from? I think that's something that I would ask.
Okay, thank you very much. Sheila?
Well, again, as Mark said, I'm a layperson, I'm not really from the industry, so it's very interesting to hear the developments that there are, and I take it all very positively. It does look like there is potential there for us to grasp the nettle and move forward and rebuild things. I think, it's the same thing, information. You hear about a particular plant that might be going to start, or that might be developing this and so on, and I would welcome lots of information. I think whilst we have a little bit of saturation with information generally in our lives, I think the more people know, the more they can assess and get behind projects. So in terms of what's holding us back, I guess that's only ourselves, isn't it?